Viewpoints have changed in Assassin's Creed Shadows. There's been a small shift away from the fast travel element, since that's now covered by something else, and a massive step back towards their original purpose, information gathering. Both of these now take a bit of effort to benefit from. Naue herself is the only ego in this game. If you want to get a bird's eye view of Japan, you're going to have to find something tall and be willing to climb. This viewpoint is set in non-hostile space, so it feels most familiar. With normal climbs and Naue's grappling hook, and with no enemies nearby, reaching its top is simple. Upon arriving at the apex, the familiar Assassin's Creed pan plays out, granting us a first glimpse at nearby areas that may look interesting. Synchronizing a viewpoint doesn't populate the world or map with anything just yet, but it does change the way it looks. Until you do this, the world map around a viewpoint consists only of drawings. Forests, rivers, and the boundaries of provinces, which would only be renamed to prefectures later in history, are all painted, giving you a small amount of info on your surroundings, but enough to be useful. We're in Harima province now, in Himeji, and holding the observe button will display surrounding locations. Looking at them until they click will place their position on your map. Because Naue has better movement, reaching the tops of viewpoints is much easier, and sometimes only possible as her. This allows her to act as your scout. Naue typically acquires information faster and easier than Yasuke. Information is precious, and a big gameplay and story theme in Shadows. While you may know the general position of places now, it's your call what you investigate. Knowing something notable exists somewhere can be combined with clues from your ninja scouts to help you decide where they should scan when you're looking for an objective or target. Since objectives in Shadows are rarely ever exact locations, skilled players will practice becoming more efficient at this kind of cross-referencing to help us find our next goals quicker. While we can see a fair distance away here and warp back to this viewpoint if we please, not every area will have one we can reach that isn't in enemy territory. In those cases, or when we want to see as far as possible, we want to get on the very top of a tenshu, the highest point of a castle. Almost always, these will be restricted areas and heavily controlled by soldiers. In the distance we see a good one to try for, the peak of Himeji Castle. To help remember points in the world, Assassin's Creed Shadows lets you place up to 5 colored player markers at a time. You can also remove them all at once by holding triangle or Y. Let's make our way to the top of Himeji Castle. In previous Assassin's Creed games, players could sometimes clear space around a viewpoint to remove enemy presence and control from it, claiming it for the rest of their playthrough. Shadows doesn't usually work this way. Often, especially early in the game, if a space is enemy controlled, chances are high it's always going to stay that way. The tenshu is an important and well-guarded spot of a castle. Reaching it usually takes work. Because Naue can stay unseen easier, and has superior movement, I prefer using her to reach these, but that may differ based on the situation. Some castles may be easier to brawl our way into as Yasuke, and instead of climbing the outside we'd have to take the stairs and doors. The peaks of castles are much stronger viewpoints, and thus more valuable when it comes to gathering information. However, because they're in enemy territory, getting down and leaving the area can be more challenging, which makes them less valuable as fast travel points. Ninja Scouts consume tokens to use. You can choose to burn additional tokens to make the ping radius even wider. This can be useful when you absolutely want to be certain you uncover everything even remotely close to that area, but it is costly. The only ways to refill scouts are to either let a season pass, or spend mon earned from normal gameplay at Kakurega, your ninja hideouts. To unlock Kakurega is also costly. While I'm rolling in money for the sake of this demo footage, Naue and Yasuke are far from rich when the game begins, and every expenditure is a heavy choice. Once a Kakurega is unlocked though, you can fast travel to it any time, and since these are typically on street level, they're the strongest and most comfortable fast travel point if all you want to do is be somewhere in the area. Viewpoints and Kakurega work together to make up the nodes in the world we'll anchor our gameplay around. Non-hostile viewpoints are easy to reach, but not usually very tall. Hostile viewpoints are powerful positions to scout from, but getting up and down them carries much more friction. And Kakurega offer a place to refill your ammo, tools, and scouts, but are expensive to unlock and provide no information benefit or high ground to look around from. All come with subtle pros and cons, and having access to as many of them as you can will make your hunt across Japan faster and easier.